to give everybody's kids the same advice. I've got, as you all know, some of you all know that I've campaigned against the abuse of the boys of Norview. Norview wasn't the only school that was predators from Westminster preyed upon. I can tell you, I'm going to introduce you to my next speaker, someone who I've been stood with since day one, someone who's one of our class as a brother, someone who also lived and went through this in his own school at Beechholm House. He's coming here today in front of you guys, he's going to speak to you, and I want you to give him the warmest of welcome. Please welcome my friend, my brother, Alan Murray.
Nearly well be up straight away. I knew you almost started crying straight away when Billy said them kind words. Guys, I hope you stick around afterwards so we can have a group photograph, because it's not just about us guys, it's about you guys that have come here to support us. A lady standing over there, the pink lady, Teresa Moon, guys, she's got some kits there. If any vulnerable women would like to have a chat with Teresa, she has some kits and everything else. Just going to have a quick word with Teresa because she's got some kits that might help women if they feel unsafe on our streets. Guys, you know my name is Alan Merritt. I'm Beechholm survivor, where all my family were abused historically. We're talking about children's homes going back to the 1800s. We're talking about 900 children in one children's home. When we talk about the Epstein files, what about the files from the children's homes in this country? It's not about Epstein Island, this is an island. Where are all the files for the children like myself that spent 17 years and put in acid baths? I spoke at a rally the other day in Nottingham, and they were talking amongst themselves and they weren't listening to me. And then I turned around and said, they put us in acid baths. They got carbolic soap, they put it in our mouths, they put it in our eyes, they used floor scrubbing brushes to take the skin off our backs. They beat us, they punched us, they psychologically destroyed us, physically, mentally, tortured us. There are children that have gone through abuse, that have turned to suicide. There are people that have turned to drugs. There are people that have turned to drink because of their trauma. And what do our politicians do? All 650 in Westminster. It's not Westminster, it's the epicentre of paedophilia. Our politicians are involved, and it goes right back hundreds of years. Our politicians are not here for the likes of us. They're not like any person could see this, hear this. The politicians do not represent you. They are there to line their own pockets. It's not. The whole establishment is corrupt. The whole establishment is abusive. The whole establishment wants to control each and every one of you. People like myself, I've been in the Lords. I stood up in the Lords and I said, I demand to speak. They said it's recording, you don't have to film it. 5 minutes into my speech where I started naming politicians, the feed was cut. What are they covering up? What are they hiding? We know the politicians are involved, and so do 650 other MPs. They're all complicit and they all keep it quiet and say nothing, because they want to keep their jobs. They want their enhanced pensions. Lord Still, leader of the Liberal Democrats, knew all about Cyril Smith, right? He knew all about it. He ended up being a leader of a political party, then going on to the House of Lords to get an enhanced pension till he was 81. When he left at 81, with his big, rich, enhanced pension, he said, I knew all about Cyril Smith 40 years ago. Why didn't he save all them victims? Why didn't the perpetrators go to prison? What did the police do? Nothing. What did the courts do? Nothing. What do the councils and social services and the family courts do? Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, while I'm here, I've met a lady today that I haven't seen in a long, long time. A brilliant campaigner, guys. When you hear what this lady's got to speak, I'm not going to make this about me, because there are other brilliant people here. We've got a lovely lady here. Children Matter, this lady. Right, I'm going to get her to tell you all about herself, introduce herself and what she stands for. When you hear her story, this is another brilliant campaigner survivor. Thank you, guys.
Hi everyone. So it's been a while since I've been about. I apologise massively. So Children Matter News represents the children's side, the parent side, for the children. So if you have a look at forced adoption, it's been going on since 1941. This is where a lot of our children are being targeted by these grooming gangs. And it's not just the grooming gangs. There's individuals that groom as well. The point of the matter is our children need to be protected. If we don't stand up for anything, we need to stand up for our kids. It's parents that are going to put a stop to this. Parents. Never mind the women, never mind the men. It's parents standing up for our children. Over the last 2 years, all I've heard is, well, when it happens to my children, I'll stand up. Well, guess what? When you wait for that, it's going to be too late. The government have systems in place to stop parents speaking out about what happened with their children. If you need to know more, have a look at forced adoption and see how they work. This is why the parents don't stand up. This is why we need other parents, like the parents here, to actually stand up for the kids. Doesn't matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter where you come from. The children deserve a childhood, safe, looked after and loved. Being able to play outside without worrying about being perpetrated on or gawked on. Children are the most innocent in our community. And if we're not standing up for the children, then who the hell are we? Because we're British through and through. We stand for our kids. We allow our kids to have the future that they deserve. I don't talk much about my personal history, but I have history when it comes to the grooming. Wasn't gangs with me, it was people with my own complexion. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, I stand for the kids. And we're having to wait. Like people like Alan, who have come up, he's a child of the abuse. We've literally waited for the children to grow up and be adults, for them to come out and tell us what happened to them. Where are the parents? People are walking by with their kids. Like, we're all here for the kids, not just our own, all of them. Because kids are innocent, they are the most precious and they should be looked after. If you stand for the kids, I want to hear it. Save our kids. That's all.
Save our kids. Save our kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Katie, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to be speaking for a minute or so now because we're down to bare bones, but I want to talk to you about this national inquiry that the Labour Party have put on. I've been involved in talking to people. Now, bear in mind, this Labour Party in the first week, 99% of the survivors left. All those survivors who I've worked with was all involved in the inquiry. They've all left. There's one left. She weren't part of their group. The rest of them were. They've all left the inquiry. That should tell you everything you need to know. But about 6 weeks ago, the chair of the inquiry sent Casey, I think she's called, sent a piece of paperwork to Rochdale Media for us to ask anyone in Rochdale that wants to come and speak to the inquiry can do so. In that paperwork it said, and just let me get it right because I need to give it you word for word. This inquiry is not to prosecute individuals or to determine criminal or civil liability. Why not? That's the question we should be asking. Why not? So what that's telling you is it's going to take 3 years, £56 million for them to set the end. Okay, we understand it now. Lessons have been learned. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to tell you, I've been listening to that line in Rochdale for the last 20 years. Lessons have been learned. Yet, last week, another trial happened in Great Manchester in Minchell Street Crown Court. And again, it was stopped because the jury was tampering with evidence. The jury have had the trial stopped, so we're now waiting for that trial to come. As I stand before you, ladies and gentlemen, from my town of Rochdale alone, there are 42 men from grooming gangs on bail, as I stand here with you today, are walking around the streets of Rochdale on bail for raping children. That's where we're at today. That's what this Labour government's all about. That's what we've got to fight against, and that's why we're on the Northern Tour. I want to thank each and every single one of you for turning up today, because it means Bolton now has an understanding of what's going on. Bolton knows that it's not just Rochdale, it's not just Rotherham, it's not just Oldham, it's Bolton, it's every town in the United Kingdom, and the only people who are going to stop it are you. So thank you guys, God bless you all, God bless Bolton, and God bless the United Kingdom. Sunderland, 23rd of May, be there, 2 o'clock, turn out.
27th May, my birthday.
Yeah, Sunderland's the next stop. After a quick personal thing from PAG UK, we're going back on the road. We're going to start patrolling again. We did it in Rochdale. We're going to start walking the streets. We're going to team up with the lads, with fathers, with mothers, and we're going to go and put a stop to airsound. We're not going to rely on the police. We're certainly not going to rely on Greater Manchester Police. We are going to police our streets, ourselves. We've done it before. We've put people in jail. We'll do it again. We're off and running, guys, but like I said, if everyone here comes to Sunderland and brings one person with you, it's game over for them, it's a win for us, and we can keep moving forward. Also, groups you can look at our Patriotic Diary, Patriotic Nations, you've got Children Matter News, you've got PAG UK Billies, Pink Ladies, anyone else? We've got the YouTube guys. Give these a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because they come out of the goodness of their own heart to show. Without these, messages won't get across, so we thank you. So I'm going to go to open mic now.
United by State Trauma.
Sorry?
Have a look at United by State Trauma.
United by State Trauma. These are all the groups that are standing. We should all be stood here together.
Ladies of Leeds.
Pink Ladies. So are we done? Anyone else? Anyone else? Right, we're going to open mic, so if you've got something you want to say, if you want to speak, your mic's yours, so anybody, yeah.